Hi guys, and welcome back to the book channel. I was really bad and I did not read a lot of books in June or July. These are the books and the caraval series. This is what I read in June and July. So I started off the month with the caraval series, and just because it's aesthetically placed here for the moment, I'm not gonna move it around. I think overall I would give the whole series 4 stars because it was good. It was good writing, but I can't lie, it was somehow it was like hard for me to get through. Even though it was an easy read and the story was interesting, there was just something about it that there was something about it, and I don't know what, that it made it really hard to finish and get through quickly. Usually when I really like a book, and I like this book, don't get me wrong, I like the books, but when I'm really into a book, I just speed read it. Like I have to spend the entire day reading it and I cannot put it down. I didn't really find that with this series. I would still give it 4 stars. I would not give it 3.5 stars or 3 stars because I do think it deserves 4. But then I also think, like, would I recommend this series to you guys? Honestly, I think you can skip it. It was good. It was good, but I would not read it again, which kind of stinks. The first book, Caraval, is about our character Scarlett and her sister. There's this game called Caraval. I'll say Caraval maybe? I don't know. There's this game. Scarlett has always wanted to go to the game. Their dad is abusive. She has been sending letters to Legend, who's the person who runs this game carnival thing. He sends her 3 tickets, one for her sister, one for her, and one for her fiance who she hasn't met yet. And it's like an arranged marriage kind of thing. Anyway, the Caraval thing is that it's a game. It's like an immersive game that you're a part of for a week, and you have to solve this mystery, and it was good. It was a very different kind of fantasy than I'm used to, but it was good. And then the second book, Legendary, is about her sister. It's like from her sister's point of view, which was interesting. Her sister's name is Tella. And then the finale, that one is like it flip-flops between the two of them. And overall, I think it was a good ending, good series, but I don't think you need to read it. Then I read Then She Was Gone. I gave this book 3.5 stars. Personally, I think I realized through reading this that I'm not a fan of thrillers, though it was a good book. My coworker actually recommended me this one. She gave it 5 stars, so I think maybe if you like thrillers, you would like this. Me personally, I didn't know if that was a genre I would like, and it is not. I find that I like to read books that are happy and exciting and new and, you know, take me out of my world, but this just was too... I just visualized things so vividly, and having to visualize what went on was extremely disturbing. Then She Was Gone, more like then she was traumatized, because that's how I felt after reading this book. I would recommend it if you like thrillers, and if you don't like thrillers, hard pass. After reading Then She Was Gone, I kind of just needed a break from reading. It was like a few days of me kind of digesting it and looking back on it and just not feeling so good. But I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center while I was flying to go see my fiance in Utah. I read the whole thing during that first flight, and I think that flight was like 5 hours long and everyone was sleeping, and I felt a little bad for having like my little reading light on, but I would give this book 4 stars as well. I was kind of sad because Haley Pham had recommended it, saying I think she gave it 5 stars, that's why I picked it up. It was good, it was cute, slightly different kind of ending to your usual romance ones, but I wasn't really feeling the chemistry between the characters. I don't know, and maybe it's just because I was reading this straight through on an airplane, but while I was on the plane, I didn't want to continue reading it, but I didn't really have anything else to do, so I was like, I guess I'll just finish this. Yeah, so would I recommend this? Honestly, no. I feel so bad, but it is a 4-star read. Like, it's not bad. It's really not bad. And maybe it's just for some people and it just wasn't for me. And I really do feel like with books, it also just kind of depends like where you are, what's your mindset right now, like what are the expectations you have going into it. All of those things kind of determine how you're gonna rate a book. And then after reading The Bodyguard, I didn't read another book for an entire month. It kind of put me in like a little bit of a book rut. I mean, I did read some manga, but I'm not sure if that counts, so I'm not gonna include it. If you want me to review the manga that I've read, I would be happy to do so. Then I read the Shatter Me series, but I haven't finished it yet. I got through, this is 1, 2, and 3, and between 2 and before 2 and before 3, there's a novella, and the novella has like 2 parts to it that you read before them. So I read that. When I first read this book, I gave it 5 stars because I could not put it down. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this. But then after, like if I were to put the whole series in a whole and put it in perspective and like compare this to Dance of Thieves, would this still be a 5-star read? I'm like, I feel like 4.5 stars is the better way to describe all of these books. So the Shatter Me series basically is about this girl who has this, you could call it a superpower basically, but she can't touch anyone and no one can touch her because when she touches other people or other people touch her, she kills them. It's a dystopian novel and the world has now been taken over by the reestablishment movement and no one has rights anymore, and if you try to go against the government, then they kill you on the spot. It's very interesting plot. Very interesting characters too. This is gonna be a spoiler alert, so if you don't want to be spoiled and you want to read the series fresh, just skip this section. I will add a little timestamp starting now. So she has 2 love interests. She has Adam and Warner, and by Ignite Me, I was like, oh my gosh, I hate Adam. Bro, he was so rude and so mean, but also like she kind of did cheat on Adam a little bit. I mean, even though they weren't technically together, I don't know, I felt like emotionally, I don't know. It was really messy, and I don't like messy, moral, gray kind of area stuff like that. But don't get me wrong, honestly, I was kind of rooting for her and Warner, even though Warner at the time, even like before I had gotten to read the little novella part about him, I was like, why do I feel like she and him, like that could be really interesting. And I'm so glad that's actually what ended up happening, was with the 2 of them, because once she grew her wings and flew off into the world where she's no longer afraid of everyone and everything, I feel like Warner was definitely the better person for her. Adam was so boring. It was like holding her back, and it just sucks because like when you first met Adam and like their chemistry together, it was great. I don't know, Tahara Mafi, I don't know if that's how you say her name, but I think she really did Adam dirty. And that's everything that I've read up until like the start of this month. So for this month's TBR, it's much different than my last video. I don't think I followed that TBR at all, but I really want to read Fourth Wing. Sorry, it's kind of shiny. I really want to read Fourth Wing. I've heard such great things about it, so I think that'll be really cool. I also really want to reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, like the whole series, because I still haven't read the newest book. I feel like it's not necessarily new anymore, but A Court of Silver Flames. I haven't read it, but I don't want to read it until I've reread everything because I've kind of forgotten a lot, and I want to get back into the story before I do that again. Also, love the series, highly recommend. I also kind of want to read, you know, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Even I think I've got The Atlas 6 up there by Olive Blake. I really want to read that too. I'm in like a fantasy, fiction kind of mood. Though, don't get me wrong, I do love my romance books because I also want to read Catherine Senner's other book. I mean, hopefully I like this better than Bodyguard. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that, and I can't wait to, you know, see you guys in another video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, leave a comment below if there's books you want me to read, or if you've read some of the books that I have on my TBR or that I read, you have different thoughts, like let me know those thoughts because I love reading your comments. Anyway, I love you guys and I'll see you later. Bye!